sons,
We've got the nature of God in us.
Yes,
so that whole vine branches thing.
Yes.
We've got the flow of the
That's
life
it.
through us, so we do what the vine does.
Yes, the vine.
And it's divine.
The vine. And we are the
That's
branches.
That's awful.
Slave, servant, or son. As followers of Christ, which are we?
Well, that whole thing. So Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, "If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." They answered him, "We are offspring of Abraham and have never been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you will become free?" Jesus answered them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever. The son remains forever. So if the son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are offspring of Abraham, yet you seek to kill me because my word finds no place in you. I speak of what I have seen with my father, and you do not know. You do what you have heard from your father." Big F, small f.
I was reading a commentary talking about that, and it was making it clear to me what he's talking, like in there, like they're claiming to be offspring of Abraham, and Abraham had two children, like he had the two sons.
Yes.
So he's like, yeah, you are offspring, but he's not your father because.
But so he puts more toward Ishmael than Isaac.
Yeah, like sure, you
That's
can
clever.
be the offspring, sure, no problem, but you're not like getting that fullness.
Yes.
Like he's not. You're not going to be calling Abraham your father. You'll be his offspring, like illegitimate child kind of thing. But that's why you're not seeing me as Abraham's son, kind of. Should be seeing me as the Messiah and speaking truth, because you are Ishmael's offspring instead of Isaac.
So, I think the reason God make us sons is so we can experience of that fullness that you've just been. If you're not a son, you can't have the fullness. A servant can't have the fullness like a son.
Yeah.
You know, and God does not make us his servants. He makes us his sons. Even if we think we come in our false humility as servants, he makes us sons. And the sooner you get into the acceptance of a sonship, you can appreciate more of the fullness. Because in the prodigal son, you know, when he comes there, he says to his father, "I've sinned against heaven and in your sight. I'm no more worthy to be called your son." And he wants to say to him, "Make me like one of your servants." But before he even gets there, his father says, "Bring me the best robe and put it on him, a ring and the shoes and the fatted calf, kill it, make a bride, get the band and make a honorable party in his name and bring him in as a full son." That's the father. That's the father.
But now I think as Christians we can be in that place like the other son, where you've always been part of the house. You know Jesus. But you so here that you strict on yourself that it becomes a thing of, how dare that person? He's not worthy. And that whole, I mean, so that's the one picture. The other picture is of Mary and Martha. So I can never remember which is which, but the one is sitting at his feet and the other one's busy. The Mary is
the good one.
Doing
the good
so she's parking at his feet listening while Martha is busy, and Martha comes and complains. Same picture. You've got Martha, not of the prodigal son, but you've got this picture of where we should be, is at the feet of Jesus. Where you've got Martha who's busy all the time and busy with the things of Christ, because she's preparing the house for the meal. She's making sure things are ready that Jesus can talk to the people who are in the home, and so she's doing the right thing. But she's not doing it in the right nature necessarily.
But I'll just add a thought. Think of Martha in the context. If she had been following, like, I don't know where does that story come with Mary Martha in the Bible?
I know Jesus visited them one day.
I'm just thinking in context of, because in his life story, he's done the feeding of the thousands with the fishes and
yes.
So I was thinking, like, if Martha was following Jesus' story, it's like, don't you know, you don't need to go through all this fuss of preparing all the food because
look what he's just done.
Just give me your rolls, give me your fish, or give me what you have, and I'll prepare it.
And how often is that the case, though? How often are we so busy doing the things of God when he's going, actually, I've got this, you know?
I think
that's brilliant.
The elder brother and Martha, maybe, they were trying to maintain their position in the house by their works. And that's why they thought they had a right to that place, where it was never about what they did to get in the house, but it was the Father that allowed them freely to be in the house. But they got into a mindset of, okay, I'm here now, it's a privileged place, now I have to keep my privileged position by working these good works in order to get, and it's got nothing to do with the works because you're there, it's because of his free invitation. So you're a son, no?
I also think it's like they may be basing importance on their works.
Yes.
Like, okay, I need to work because this is important.
Yes.
Like, also the son, the older brother was like, I'm doing the hard work because it needs to be done. I'm being solid because this is what is needed.
So the line is, but Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. So what Martha was doing can actually be taken away from her because she the actions that she's doing. Yes, it's good. You know, it's good in and of itself. It helps the earthly things.
It's for a time.
But Mary will always have those lessons that he taught. Whatever he said, and she's picked up sitting at his feet. That will be forever. What you're doing right now is not really, you know.
But what did Jesus say about Martha?
He says, you are anxious and troubled about many things.
So it's not about the work she was doing. It was about her attitude. Now we're talking about being tired in this life.
Oh, have we gone there?
No, we're just quickly going there now.
Okay. Just a little taster for another time.
I'm sure Martha was tired. And she said, I'm tired. I'm doing all this work, you know, and my sister's just sitting there. But that work would have just been work. But she was anxious and something about it.
Troubled and anxious.
Will things get done? Will everybody have something to eat? Is there going to be enough? All these questions, when just Jesus came back from feeding 5,000, she didn't trust. She couldn't rest. Even though you can work, it's fine. But you must work in that rest and in the trust. This is what I feel is important about the sonship, is to pursue your sonship, to renew your mind in the fact that you are son, is to come closer to the fuller experience of what God has called you to. Because in the servant place, you are going to moan, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be all those things, you're going to miss the fullness of what God has for you. So it's important, pivotal to acknowledge your sonship. And to renew your mind in the new creation being that you are.
In the family of God.
Yes. The Father of all families. So
I feel it's important that you know your position in his family.
Yes, to always acknowledge that you are a son. Not to go back to the mindset of the prodigal son that said, I'll be a servant and work a little here. Because Christ did the work to make you a fully acceptable, qualifiable son.
And
you didn't do anything for it. He made you that. So you might as well acknowledge that.
Is it any less that you were adopted?
No. That's the beauty of what God did. I think that word adoption is he made you blood for blood, spirit for spirit. That is as true as it gets. You are inside his son, Jesus Christ, the firstborn. You're as much a son as a son can be a son, yes.
Yeah.
For God, there's no second best, is there? No.
Yeah, I suppose in our context of sons or adoption, there is still some line of separation.
Yeah.
Yes,
physical.
it's not blood.
Yeah.
Yes, but he said those who believe on his name, they were born of God, not of man or anything. They're born of God. They are born anew from God.
There's a lovely line, is that the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and it proves unfruitful.
Where's that?
That's in the explanation in Matthew 13. And so the different levels of different people who hear the word, and in Can You Lose Your Salvation, we chatted about can you, and we said that maybe those people had never really known him. And in this, it kind of like speaks to that thing where there are those that go, yes, Jesus, fantastic. But then the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches come in, and they put themselves in a place of almost slavery away from sonship, or they don't actually ever touch into or get into Jesus because they think that these certain things are expected of them.
For sure.
The world overwhelms them, and the riches.
You see,
and whatever.
that's it. That is the ugliest way of deceiving people. They come to Christ, and then they don't learn. There's a verse in Colossians says that to know the grace of God in truth. To know exactly what happened to you, that now the identity that you now have.
That's it.
You're not just qualified for heaven because now you must maintain good works and God's kingdom. No. He has placed you in heaven in himself and enabled you to be spirit of his spirit, a child of him. And that qualifies you for everything to use to live your Christian life. And then you have hope and joy and those things that get you through those times.
If we're sons, we act like the Father.
Yes.
And the Father's nature is Jesus, but it's serving.
Yes.
So if you look at the whole foot washing thing, so careful with the language, but the whole thing of we're not serving God, we're serving man, because that's what God wants of us. We're doing God's will, not from a servant to God perspective. We're doing that as a son to God perspective, but as a servant to man perspective.
Because what does God need? You don't need to serve him. He chop his fingers if he wants apple pie. It's fine. You don't have to go bake it for him.
Beautiful picture.
You
of God just
understand?
going,
Oh, that's an idea. But yes, we serve God by serving his people, by serving one another. That's how we show love. That's the servant comes in there.
Can a Christian be a slave?
Slave too?
When religiosity kicks in.
Okay.
Definitely.
And who's the master?
So then the master is the religious mindset. Because I feel, yes, I've been saved in Christ, but I've never claimed that. I've never claimed that thing, that actually I'm a son, actually I'm a daughter, actually I'm a child. I'm still going along the lines of I have to do something because this can't. It's too good to be true. I can't just go, oh, I'm saved. Okay, I could kick back and for the rest of my life do nothing, and I'd still be in the kingdom. Because that's the reality. It's not the ideal, but it's the reality. Is it? So, but we can hit this mindset of Martha or the other son, who's, I need to do this thing. I need to work so that I can, so that I'm constantly doing something in order for God to deign to be happy with me. Which then is a slave situation, because you're caught in almost a sinful thing, because you're putting it before God. And anyone who sins is a slave to sin. Or is that too far?
Or you can make yourself a slave to that if you choose.
Yeah. So like it says, whoever practices sin then becomes a slave to sin.
Yeah. I don't know if Paul uses the term a slave of Christ or something.
Jesus,
I think
in that what we just did.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I can understand where you so dedicate your alliance to him that you obviously whatever his word is, that's my command. I'm a slave to that. That's like a devotional thing. But again, in his identity, he's not a slave of God. He's not a servant of God. He is a son of God.
So it is that thing. So here he says, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And he says, truly, truly, I say to you, where is it? So if the Son set you free, you are free indeed. Elsewhere about if you do as I've commanded, so people can go.
Yeah,
he's commanding a love and an obedience to him.
Yeah,
I'm his son. That's what I want. Because I love him. Because I want that. I want to be obedient in everything. Not because I'm a slave where he's going to give a command and I have to do it.
Yes, and you get
he's commanding me, and in the commandment he's showing me love, and I show love in return by doing what. It's not a slave situation.
No, it's loving your father.
Yeah, it's in the father in the best context possible of he's giving us this for our good.
Yes,
for our very best. He's asking us or giving us these commands and instructing us as he does it's for our benefit in the best possible way without any
and giving us the gracious opportunity to work with him.
Yeah, he's called us to the highest position in his family as sons, co-heirs, joint heirs with Christ, saying, "This my word became flesh. This is the Son of God. Become just like him. Have everything that he has. Highest position God calls you to." And that's the religious mind can't fathom that.
Can't fathom it.
Truth is that. That's the truth of God, the grace of God in truth. That is a higher mindset of everything that's happening.
It's very good.
Oh, Spirit said.